So I'm here with Yvonne Bradshaw. Yvonne came to me for some help with, she was kind of stuck in life, I guess you could say, right? Why don't you talk about what was going on with you when you first reached out to me?
Um, so when we first started talking, I was having an overwhelming sensation of kind of being stuck. Like the things that had happened in my past were controlling every move I was making, and I didn't feel like I had confidence in my abilities, and I didn't know how to kind of get past that point. I was just stuck.
You were stuck, yeah. And so why don't you talk about what's happening now?
So uh, through the work that we've done, it was kind of this wonderful progression that I felt going on in my body, and um, I gained more confidence in my abilities. I gained more understanding of the decisions I was making and why, and I also felt like those restrictions that were naturally keeping me from moving ahead were just sort of melting away. And so I've started a new business. I've improved on my existing businesses as well, and I'm confident that I can keep going. Like I don't feel like I have a limit anymore as to where or what I can do. The only limit is what I want it to be.
Yeah, and because the limits were now you recognize were coming from your past.
Exactly.
Right. So that's the constraints, right? The constraints that we all live with, right? We look at our past and we think, well, because of this, then the future is likely to look like this. But as soon as you create that gap and you start to think deliberately, right? Like we haven't really talked about that, but really that's what it's about. It's about programming your brain, right?
Yes.
Programming your mind. And that's what you've done. And so when you program your mind, you start to feel like, well, the thinking today creates the meaning, and that's where my behavior comes from. Well, where do you think the results that you're getting are coming from? They're coming from your behavior. It's not coming from the universe. It's coming from what you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. What would you say to somebody who's stuck? And not the standard, well, if you're stuck, come see Surrender because he can help you. Because not everybody wants to hear that. Some people might call me, but some people might say, well, you can tell me what to do. You've done it. What would you tell those people?
The number one thing is we often think that we can do things on our own, and we forget that sometimes we need some expertise beyond ourselves so that we get an objective opinion of kind of what the issue is and understanding what the issue is. And as soon as you hit that point where you go, yeah, that's it, that's why I do that, then you start to be more in control. But it still helps to have a guide to shorten that learning curve so that you're now exercising that new muscle as quickly as possible. And once you start exercising it, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I have people that I've hired, and I'm actually working with a coach right now. So I do this for a living, but I'm so confident that it works because I also utilize that, the ability of talking to somebody who's already been there and done it and says, hey, look, I think this is what you need to do. And then you buy into it, and then all of a sudden the results come. Coaching is not anything new, right? But what about those people that say, no, I'm not hiring a coach and I'm not finding a guide. Just tell me what I can do to make my life better. What would you say to those people? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I know that you've got it in you because you've done it.
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot, totally. I guess what I would say to those people who think that, you don't need anybody and you don't need anyone's help, if someone just tells you what to do, you'll be able to do it. I was that person. I thought I could take care of this, and I got number of years down the road and realized, wait a minute, I'm still here. I'm still in that place. And so I guess most importantly, I want you to be brave, and I want you to be honest with yourself. And when you truly realize and recognize that this is not something I can just overcome on my own, that's when you want to seek some expertise so that you can get that change because you deserve it.
And if you don't, I like everything that you said. The people that won't hire someone, though, they just it's not in them to do. Would you agree with me that if they can just leave denial, if they can just exit denial and accept that, okay, maybe I don't have all the answers, maybe they can just watch a TED Talk, maybe they can go buy a book, maybe they can, read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. There you go. But exit denial first.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to be out of denial first. You have to be aware that there's something in your life that's not working, and it's because of you. It's not because of other people. You got to stop that, I believe. That's my feeling, is you have to exit denial. Once you leave denial that there's a problem, then all of a sudden you become like a sponge, and reading a book, even, that stuff will just sink in and it'll change your life. But you can't do it when you're still in denial that there's an issue, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, knowledge is power, and again, that's where that being honest and being brave with yourself and asking yourself those tough questions and having that conversation openly with yourself. If you do it with nobody else, that is going to take you to a different place.
It will. And then once you start to see results from that, well, the next step is it becomes real easy to then seek help from a real human being, and then hiring a coach, right? That's the next step. First step is always leaving denial, though. Absolutely. All right. I think that's good. We nailed it in one take.